So this is quite the turn. Apparently, the Green Bay Packers are disgusted with Aaron Rodgers. They're done with him. That is the recent media report coming out yesterday. They're obsessed with Jordan Love. They're totally convinced Rodgers won't be back as the starter. Now, do I believe the Packers are really hating Aaron Rodgers? I don't know. It's very hard to take the media seriously with Aaron Rodgers because they hate him so much after the whole pandemic situation and stuff like that. So I'll just say, listen, the Green Bay Packers better hope that Aaron Rodgers comes out of his little kumbaya darkness retreat and he still wants to play. Because Aaron Rodgers can just say, I'm retiring and you don't get anything for me. At least if he says he wants to play, you can trade him for a first-round pick. Guys, I said last year in the offseason, Aaron Rodgers, there's no reason you should stay with the Green Bay Packers. There's no reason you should re-sign with them. I screamed it over and over again. And the Packers go out, they trade Davante Adams because they don't want to pay him. Okay, whatever. But they used that first-round pick they traded, Davante Adams. They use it on a defensive player, so you're really not giving Aaron Rodgers any help. They had no receivers. Their best receiver was a rookie raw player who just runs fast, Christian Watson, who had major drop issues at North Dakota State. I mean, the Green Bay Packers front office has to be the most overrated entity in the entire NFL. And now they're up on their high horse saying that they hate Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if I buy this report, but one of the dumbest moves was Aaron Rodgers going back to the Green Bay Packers. They trade Davante Adams. Okay, now you have the number 22 and number 28 overall picks. Why don't you use those picks to move up and get someone like Garrett Wilson, or at least try and go out and trade for a veteran receiver? They don't do anything, and they're left with that receiving core. They go out and get Sammy Watkins. What an absolute joke this is. So the Green Bay Packers, they better hope that Aaron Rodgers comes back and says, I want to continue playing, because then you're set up in a decent spot. And how ironic would it be if the Green Bay Packers trade Aaron Rodgers for a first-round pick and use one of their first-round picks on an offensive player like Michael Mayer or maybe a receiver, Jordan Addison, someone like that, the year after Aaron Rodgers leaves. As for the situation with Jordan Love, Jordan Love came out a few months ago and said, listen, I either need to play or you got to trade me. And I don't blame Jordan Love because he's just been doing nothing for the past 3 years. He's gotten one start against the Chiefs 2 years ago. Apparently, he showed some promise in preseason earlier this year, and the Packers, they love him. They're ready to roll with him, and I would expect the Packers, if Aaron Rodgers does want to play, to go out and get a really good either tight end or receiver in the first round because they're going to be trading Aaron Rodgers. These are just some different proposals for Rodgers. The expectation right now, I would say that the Green Bay Packers would target that number 7 overall pick from Vegas. There's already rumors that Davante Adams has been clamoring for Aaron Rodgers. If you're Vegas, though, does it make sense to give up the number 7 overall pick for a guy who's contemplating retirement every single year? If I'm the Vegas Raiders, I need Aaron Rodgers to commit to my franchise for 2 years if I'm going to give up the number 7 overall pick. And if I'm the Green Bay Packers, even if Aaron Rodgers wanted to come back to the Packers, which, my God, at this point makes no logical sense. It didn't make any sense last year, but he still did it. But at this point, it really makes no logical sense. You would still trade Aaron Rodgers if you're the Green Bay Packers. The dude is borderline retiring. If I can get a top 10 pick for a dude who might be retired next year, I'm going to do it. And they had Aaron Rodgers this year, and look how that turned out. They ended up not even making the playoffs. So this is just a proposal with the New York Jets. Now, there's some big Jets news surrounding their quarterback situation I want to get to, but you can see this is the 13th overall pick and Elijah Moore. If I'm the Jets and I'm getting Aaron Rodgers, I'm really not interested in giving up Elijah Moore. Elijah Moore has very low trade value right now, so I would not throw Elijah Moore in. I would probably rather throw a third or a fourth rounder, probably a fourth rounder in. But again, this depends on what Vegas wants to do, because Vegas can outbid the Jets because they have a better overall draft pick. And also Vegas probably is very intrigued in bringing Aaron Rodgers in, the fanfare that surrounds that. You've got Darren Waller. Yes, he has injury concerns, but still. And you also have Devontae Adams, a match made in heaven. You've got a third down guy in Hunter Renfrow. What do you do with Josh Jacobs? You're probably not re-signing him, but you could get another running back. And then the Raiders do have to address that secondary. It is a major issue. Speaking of the Raiders, we've got their former quarterback, Derek Carr, visiting the Jets this weekend. You know, Derek Carr, the Buccaneers make sense because of Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. The Jets are very intriguing when you look at their team with Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, the young nucleus that they have. You know, if you're the Jets, if I'm a Jets fan, you know, would I be happy with Derek Carr signing a 3-year deal? I really don't know. The problem for the Jets is they do need a quarterback, but Derek Carr is almost like a stopgap. Like, if we're really being honest with ourselves, can we picture Derek Carr winning a Super Bowl with the Jets? No. But the Jets are a team, they've had no success recently. Can Derek Carr help them get to the playoffs with the young talent that they have? I think he can. So, you know, if that's the Jets' goal, I think this is a good move. It's tough. Not everyone is going to get a franchise quarterback in Derek Carr. He puts up decent numbers. He'll keep you in games. The Jets have a young team. They're very talented. They could possibly do some things next year. Just taking a look at some of the other headlines. Washington, the Commanders ended up hiring Eric Bieniemy. So a lot of people are confused about this. Why would Bieniemy make a lateral move, or even some deeming this a worse move, considering, you know, you're going from Patrick Mahomes to Sam Howell? But this is definitely a step up for Bieniemy. He was in Andy Reid's shadow. Now he gets to call his plays and really control this offense. And if you actually look into this Commander situation, Ron Rivera is a one bad season away from being fired. And Eric Bieniemy, if the offense performs well with Sam Howell or whatever quarterback they go with, I mean, you take a look at their offense, and it's pretty underrated. I mean, they have no super talent, but they've got a lot of very quality players on that offense when you look at the Commanders. So, you know, this is a situation for Eric Bieniemy. One bad season from Ron Rivera, as long as the offense does okay, he could take over as the head coach for Washington next year, or maybe even halfway through the year as an interim head coach. Anything else in here? Just looking through the headlines, we've got Jalen Hurts possibly getting a $50 million contract extension. The thing I wanted to talk about on this, it's really nothing against Jalen Hurts, but I don't think I've seen better timing for a player to extend themselves. Like, I don't think Jalen Hurts is going to have a better season in his entire career than he just had. Like, that's his career year. Now, that's not to say he can't be a franchise quarterback, but if you're Jalen Hurts and the agent, you got to sign that extension tomorrow. If you're getting $45 or $50 million per year, it's just the way it worked out. That's why if I am the Chargers, I am opening the checkbook right now for Justin Herbert. It's only going to keep costing more the more you wait. We will see if they try and get something done with him. But other trending players, Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love, Eric Bieniemy, Derek Carr, Jalen Ramsey. There was a tweet that said the Rams might cut Jalen Ramsey. Why would the Rams cut Jalen Ramsey? I don't think people really understand. Like, Jalen Ramsey is making a lot of money, yes, but he's still under 30. He's still a shutdown cornerback. The Rams were not that good last year. That doesn't mean Jalen Ramsey wasn't good. He still graded out very well. And then we do have this thing with the XFL, which, you know, they try and do these leagues like this and it just never works out. But I don't know if this is the XFL's like third year or fourth year. Oh, their first season was 2020. And Ben DiNucci and Josh Allen are on the same team. It's absolutely must-watch football. Amazing. Just taking a look at a few other tweets. It says, trending, Albert Breyer believes that Kirk Cousins being 30... I didn't realize Kirk Cousins was going to be 35. I thought he was like 32 or 33. Kirk Cousins being 35 this upcoming season, along with his contract situation, this could lead Minnesota to drafting a quarterback. Well, remember, Minnesota drafted Kellen Mond in like the third round, and that was a complete bust of a pick. The kid from Texas A&M who played a lot at A&M. I think he played all 4 years there. They drafted him. I believe Kellen Mott is on a practice squad at this point. But either way, yeah, I mean, it just seems like Minnesota is going in circles. They're doing that whole thing where they have a good quarterback, but it's probably not good enough to get them over the hump and actually into the Super Bowl unless literally everything falls right, which is like a 1% chance of happening. I mean, this is a Minnesota team that won basically every game by one score. They had a horrible point differential, and in the playoffs, they're one and done. They lose to Daniel Jones and the New York Giants at home. It's got to be demoralizing, and on top of that, Justin Jefferson is going to want to be the highest paid receiver in the NFL when his contract is up in, I believe, a year. But no, you know what they also have? They have the player option, or the team option to get that 5th year because he was a first-round pick. But guys, that's going to do it for this video. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description.